Hello, and welcome to the YouVersion Webcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is a great opportunity for us to come together from all around the world and hear exciting news about what God is doing through you, the YouVersion community. We'll let you in on all the big news in a few minutes. But first, we'd like to start off with a few giveaways and prizes. We have 2 iPad minis that we'd love to get into the hands of some lucky Bible app users. All you have to do is tell your friends on Twitter that you're watching this webcast right now. Either click the Twitter button below or head over to Twitter and be sure to use #BibleApp. We'll randomly select the winners over the next few minutes, and we'll let you know who the lucky users are at the end of the webcast. As Bible app users, you know that having the Bible with you wherever you go is more than just a convenient use of technology. It's transforming the lives of millions of people all around the world. You're a big part of the global phenomenon, and we can't wait to let you know what God is up to. So, let's get started.
That's right. Let's get started. Man, we are so thankful that you guys are here. Thanks for tuning in, like she said, from all over the world. Bobby, it is hard to believe that it's been 19 months since we sat here, talked to our community in a webcast, and in 19 months, I mean, that sounds like a long time, and it is. Yeah. A lot has changed. A ton has changed. Tens of millions of people have joined our community since we sat here before. Do you want to share a little bit about that and kind of lay the land of where we are?
Sure, Terry. I think before I do that, probably most people that are watching and part of this right now are watching because they actually downloaded and installed the Bible app to their phone or their mobile device, and some of them might actually know the story behind YouVersion. But what I thought we might do is really kind of help everyone, because I think many probably don't know the story, help really understand what God's been doing over the last several years. So for those of you that don't know, YouVersion is actually a ministry of our church. It started as a part of lifechurch.tv and is a part of our church. It's a ministry of our church. And it's a completely nonprofit ministry that's entire focus is really to just help people engage in God's word and make it a part of their everyday lives. And we're trying to leverage technology in whatever way that we possibly can to help people do that. Now, where the idea started or where it began was actually in the Chicago airport, the O'Hare Airport, back in 2006. In the fall of 2006, I was traveling through the airport and I was in a long security line there at the airport. And for whatever reason, at that moment in time, what I was processing was, could we be at one of those moments in history where if we could leverage the technology that we have today in the right way, that perhaps we could maybe change the way that our generation, maybe generations to come, would engage in the Bible. So right there in the security line, I had this idea, and between the security line and the gate, came up with the name YouVersion, and then of course I'm an activator, so I registered the domain name YouVersion.com before it even gotten on the airplane. Now some people actually want to know where the name YouVersion comes from, and I try to tell people it was actually 800 feet of careful market research between the security line and the gate. That's all that it was. It was the best name that we came up with in the airport at the time. So it doesn't have a lot of extra meaning to it, even though I think some people think that it might. But if you kind of fast forward from there, our leadership team at the church, we began to really pray about and think, should we actually move forward with this idea? Because we didn't have the resources, and we certainly didn't feel like we were looking for something else to do, but we really did feel like God was leading us to take a step forward. And so we built together, we didn't have a team at the time, but we built a website, YouVersion.com, that launched in September of 2007. And most people that use the Bible app today didn't know that it actually started as a website. And the reason most people don't know that is because no one really visited that website back in 2007. It really wasn't that popular. And we were about to shut it down. Yeah. And we decided that before we shut it down, we wanted to design the website so that it would work on our mobile devices, at that time on our phone, a BlackBerry, I think is what we were both using at the time. And when we did that, something profound happened. We all of a sudden noticed that very naturally, we began to engage in the Bible, read the Bible much more frequently and consistently than we did before that time. And what changed was simply that it was on this device that was with us at all times. And so we saw that happen. We saw the traffic begin to go up on the website. And we recognized that God was up to something that even though the first idea didn't really work that well, that he was showing us kind of this new approach. So right about that time, Apple had announced that they were making it possible to develop apps for the iPhone. And so we decided to build an iPhone app, and there was a 19-year-old on our team that loved Apple, so we thought that was enough of a qualification to build an app. And so we, as a part-time project, did that and launched the app with the very first set of apps that were available on the launch of the App Store in July of 2008. And so on July 10th of 2008, when the App Store launched, the Bible app was available for free, and it had several versions of the Bible that you could access. It did not have all the features that it had today. And we had no idea what to expect. Yeah. And that was probably, I think it was a Thursday when that launched, and by Sunday morning, we had seen 83,000 people already install the Bible app.
We were ecstatic.
Blew us away, had no idea. And we like to kind of see what God does and really begin to put resource behind it. And we could, again, clearly see that he was doing something. So what was a part-time project on Friday for that 19-year-old became his full-time job on Monday. And we began to sort of to go down this journey that we've been on now for almost 5 years with the Bible app. Now, if I fast forward the story, and it really isn't fair to fast forward the story, but for the sake of time, I'll be really brief about it. Today, what we have is not simply an app for the iPhone, but an app that we've now developed on pretty much every major smartphone platform in the world. So if you have a smartphone or tablet that you buy today, pretty much anywhere in the world, you have access or the ability to download and install the Bible app for free. As most people know that are using the app, it has over 500 versions of the Bible today in over 300 languages. And what's happened is step by step along the way, we've built this coalition of partners, publishers, Bible societies, pastors, church leaders, priests, ministries, people that are basically saying, look, we want more than anything for this generation and everyone to be engaged in God's word. And we see this as a tool that's helping do that, because what we were noticing was not simply that people were installing it on their phone, but we were noticing that people were actually using it. Absolutely. And really engaging with it. And so today, that 83,000 that we saw has now turned into just under 96 million devices that we've seen install the Bible app in just under 5 years' time, which is really pretty incredible. But let me share just a few statistics, a real quick update of some data points and some stats of how the Bible app's actually being used on mobile devices today. So when we talk about the 95 million, that number sort of is a big number, and that's the number of devices and everything that installed it. But to give you an idea, I used to use a stat. In fact, I may have even done it in a previous webcast of what happens in an average minute on YouVersion. Now I've actually changed that to what happens in an average second on the Bible app. So for just a moment, I'll kind
every
of...
second.
Every second, yeah. So I mean, it's technically an average across every second. So there's some seconds that are way more and some that are a little bit less. But if you average it out, this is what would happen every second. So every second, right now, every second, 1.3 people are installing the app on a new device every second. In that same second, 75 other people are taking the app that they already have on their phone or their tablet, and they're opening it every second, 75 other people. In that same second, 113 other people are changing and flipping to another chapter of text, or kind of loading, a chapter of text on their screen. And in that same second, 34 people are starting to play an audio stream or having the Bible read to them. In that same second, 9 people are making a highlight, 3 people are making a bookmark, and 3 people are sharing the Bible or a verse or passage with someone they know on Facebook, Twitter, SMS, or email. All of that is happening right there in a second. There's actually a total of 66,000 people that have the app open in an average second that are doing something with the Bible app. And so those numbers are just really absolutely mind-boggling and something we never would have anticipated before. But what's awesome about it is that's exactly the thing that we were hoping and believing, that maybe we could be at one of those moments in history where even though all the data points showed that people are becoming less engaged, that perhaps they could become more engaged with the Bible. And so when we think about 96 million people, we at one point in time thought that would never, ever be possible. But here we are today, and we've reached that many so far.
It's amazing to hear when you share that story, and like you said, it's kind of hard to edit out a little bit because there's so much in there that God has done through this. And as I hear that, Bobby, and as I hear you talk about that, it gets me thinking back not too long ago when we sat down and just kind of dreamed about what our goals could be for 2013. And as they heard, we're talking about stats. We're very much into the numbers because behind those numbers are changed lives and people's lives that are being impacted by the Bible.
Absolutely.
So we pay really close attention to that. But we were sitting down just kind of dreaming of what could be and thinking about some goals. And you remember what me and I'm talking about when we got sat down? We're here at the cusp of 96 million, and there was a goal that we set. You want to talk about that?
So we'd set a goal, and back when we set the goal, it seemed absolutely impossible. And the goal was, could it be possible to see 100 million devices install the Bible app by the 5th anniversary of the launch of the Bible app? So if you go back to my story, the 5th anniversary of the launch is actually July 10th of this year, of 2013. And you may be looking and saying, well, we're at 96 million. 100 million, about a month away, just under a month away from now, it seems like that would be possible. Well, the reality of it is, because we look at the numbers, we know that in the current trajectory, that we're actually going to be short of hitting that goal. And not short by just a tiny bit, but short by maybe even 1 million devices by that time as it stands right now. And most people would say that's probably okay. It seemed like an impossible goal at the time. But our team, we've talked about it, we're just really unwilling to sort of let go of this goal because we feel like it represents really a lot of people that could have the Bible on their device that may not otherwise have it. We know the impact that it has. We hear so many stories of people's lives that are changed and transformed and how God's used it in such a huge way in people's lives. And so what we wanted to do was really begin to challenge our audience and challenge our community to really help us reach that goal. So part of this is we're actually going public that we have this goal. It would have been easy just for us to just pretend we didn't actually have it.
We didn't have to send out an email about a webcast. We didn't have to do all this.
But we felt like the best way for us to is not for us to try to do it obviously on our own, because we haven't done this to date on our own. It's always been, like I said, a broad coalition. As I begin to mention this goal to partners and people that we have a relationship with the app, every single one of them are like, how can we help? Yeah. We've got a huge audience of people. Maybe it's there's television networks, there's churches, there's pastors, there's leaders that are saying we want to do what we can to try to help reach it.
When we mentioned it to our volunteers, we've got volunteers all over the world. When we mentioned it to a pocket of our volunteers, they were like, we can get behind this and do it with you guys. And so the response has been amazing.
So we're here today really for the purpose of really challenging all of you and all of our community to say, could we possibly still reach this goal? Something that seemed impossible at the time, but I think could happen if we rallied behind it. And what we want to do is challenge you to share the app with as many people as you can. We have a lot of exciting things that are coming up, and I'll kind of give you just a sense of what that is a little bit later. But first, I want to talk about a tool that we've created that's going to make it easier for you to share the app with people. And so, Terry, why don't you just describe a little bit what they can expect?
Absolutely. So on the screens on your web browser right now as you're watching, we'll put up a screen that you can see. But as Bobby mentioned, we did build this really easy tool to be able to share the app with your friends. It's actually live on our Android devices today. We were able to make that available and push that out. So if you have the latest version of Android, you can just tap right there and share the Bible, and you'll see this right on your device. Right on your device now.
It's in the menu, right?
Yeah, it's in the menu. It's in the menu, and a big button at the bottom that's kind of drawing attention to share the Bible as well too. So that's available today, and as you'll notice on the screen, you can use this to share to SMS, so all of your friends. The way that the tool works is it doesn't just have to be to one of your friends. You can select multiple of your family and friends and send it to them really easy. You can do the same thing with email. You can do it with Twitter, you can do it with Facebook. So that's available for you right now. We made it really, really simple. And you may see the picture and see that it's an Android device, and us talking about Android, and that's available today. We've also pushed this to Apple, and any minute, we're praying right now that we get an email from Apple that they approve our app and it becomes available. But it's sitting in the approval queue right now, waiting for Apple to release that. And so we hope to have that available for all of our iOS, iPad, and iPhone users available really soon. So just keep watching for your little red icon to show up on an app update to get that. If you don't have the newest version on Android, make sure you go to the Google Play Store and update that. And if you don't use one of those devices, as you talked about earlier, Bobby, that if you use any of our other devices, the tool might not be there, but you can easily share the app. There's a share feature built in.
Yep.
Doesn't have this nice little ticker in it, but you can share it with any of our other apps and make it available. So
we try to make it as easy as we can to make that possible to share. And in addition to kind of that tool, what we find is that people are using really their own creativity to say, here's all sorts of different ways. People are changing kind of their Facebook timeline, the graphics that they have on their Twitter accounts, whatever they can to try to make people aware of the Bible app. We can't assume that everyone has it, because the truth is everyone doesn't. Right now, there's one in 16 iOS and Android devices that have been sold in the world that have already installed the Bible app, which means that there are 15 out of 16 that have not. And so there's still many, many people that don't know about it. I go to people even in the grocery store, and I'll ask them right there in front of me in line, say, hey, do you like your iPhone? They say, oh yeah, I like it. And I sort of explain that our church created a Bible app, or there's this Bible app that I know, do they have it on there? And sometimes they'll say no, and I usually just take the phone out of their hand and go and actually install it for them because it's easy that way. But whatever creative ways that are legal, of course, that you guys want to share the app. If you have a business, you might have different spheres of influence. If you're a church or a pastor, we have many pastors that have said we're going to do everything we can to share it with our congregation. The reason, some of you actually have multiple devices that perhaps you haven't installed on your tablet, or you haven't even experienced, or didn't even know we had the Bible app available for your iPad or for your Kindle Fire or any of those types of devices, and we do have it available. So I encourage you to actually make sure you get it on all the devices that you have with you. But whatever it might be, whatever creative ideas that you can come up with, we greatly appreciate it. I think that collectively we could be a part of achieving this milestone. It's just simply that. It's really just a milestone that we really believe is the beginning. But we know that everyone's going to want to do this just because they've benefited from having God's Word a part of their everyday lives. However, we want to go even a step further, though, and give you some encouragement in sharing it. So, Terry, why don't you talk about some of what
So not only do we want to make it easy, we want to incentivize and help you guys do this. And so as you see right here, we've got the 2 iPads, and these are the 2 that we talked about at the beginning that we're going to give away for inviting your friends to join the webcast. But I also have another iPad right here that we're also going to give away. And we have many other things that we're going to give away. But the important thing to know is that if you go into the app and you share it, just by doing that function within the app, you are actually kind of registering yourself to win some of these prizes. And every week until July 10th, we are going to be giving away free prizes every week. Coming up a week from today, we're giving away this iPad. So right now, if you're watching this on your mobile device, don't do it right now or you'll actually close the webcast. So don't actually do it, but as soon as it's over, go and share using the tool, register yourself to win this iPad. We're giving this one away a week from today. And then again, Bobby, every week until July 10th, we are going to be giving away things to help incentivize you and also help us reach this goal. And again, what's critically important to realize is we're just getting started. I mean, this is just a part of the journey along the lines. But
I think it's important to note, too, that every time you share it or every person you share it to is sort of another opportunity for you to win. So if you share it to 200 people, obviously that's going to have more opportunities than the person that just shares it to one.
So it's like a hat, and every time you share, you put your name in the hat.
Pretty much, that's the way it works.
That's great.
So we hope to really, obviously I know that people want to help regardless of that, but we want to do have our way of honoring them. And you're right, we actually believe that this is really, really just the beginning. What we hope to do very, very soon. In fact, we plan to do this immediately after reaching this goal of 100 million. What you're going to see are a series of exciting announcements from us about features, content. We have an entirely new concept for the Bible app that I think many of you are going to be excited about, that are really going to help you not just have it be a personal experience, but something that you're able to do with others. And I will look forward to, actually we'll probably have a very detailed description and a run through of what all of those features are. Our team have been working on that for months now and are very, very excited about what is to come with it. But what we want to do is keep the focus really on this milestone that's in front of us. And then right on the backside of that, we look forward to helping and expanding what we think is possible. We really do feel like it just starts with 100 million. That's right. We actually feel like it's the very, very beginning. When we started this journey, not only did we have no idea that 83,000 people would install the Bible app in the first weekend, we had absolutely no idea that we would be approaching 100 million that would have installed it certainly 5 years in. But what God's done is really grown our faith through this process to believe that really anything could be possible, so much so that we actually now believe that it could be possible that we will see the most Bible-engaged generation in history. I mean, absolutely the most Bible-engaged generation in history, but that's going to be far more than 100 million devices. It's going to be billions. And so this is not something where we feel like this is kind of a destination that we're reaching. We really do feel like it's really the very, very beginning. So why don't we go ahead real quick? We didn't want to take much of everyone's time, but why don't we go ahead and give away the 2 iPads today that we were going to give away for people that have been sharing the webcast. We appreciate all of you that have been making people aware of it. So why don't you go ahead and tell us who the winners are?
That's fantastic. I've got the team mentioning this now to me, and so the two winners right now, and how you receive these is that you tweeted about this. So make sure that you follow our Twitter feed at YouVersion, and also you can join in at facebook.com/YouVersion. And so our first lucky winner is at Kayla Magnus. At Kayla Magnus is our first winner. So to receive your iPad, hop right on Twitter like you registered for it, and at YouVersion, and we'll get communicating with you that way to send you your iPad. And the second winner, same way that registered for that, is Joseph Davis. Joseph Davis is our second iPad winner for today. So again, jump right over like you did before at twitter.com and mention YouVersion and let them know that you
I assume
won.
we have their. I mean, there may be a lot of Joseph Davises.
Yeah. At Joseph S. Davis.
Got it.
And at Kayla_Magnus.
Great.
The two winners.
They may get some new followers.
And yes, absolutely, absolutely. And right now, the YouVersion Twitter account will be reaching out to you guys as well too, letting you know that you're the winner to interact that way and register for that. And again, a reminder is that the prizes don't stop now. As soon as the webcast is over, we're not done. The other iPad mini is going a week from today, so start sharing the Bible app to register for that. And then every week, again, we're going to be giving away great prizes every single week.
Yep.
Here for us, it's Tuesday. You might be in Australia, and so it might actually be Wednesday in Australia when we do that. But tune in to our Twitter account and our Facebook wall to learn more about that.
We're so glad that you guys took the time today and to tune in and be a part of this. This is a very key milestone for us. 100 million devices is something that, again, we never thought was possible, but it really is because of you and our community and how God's used all of you to help really make His Word a part of our everyday lives. And it's really something that we think is amazing, but we also think it is just the very, very beginning, that God stands ready to do so much more through us and through this generation than we could ever ask or imagine. But it's all going to be for His glory and not for ours. So I ask you guys to join with us, to share this with everybody that you know, everybody that you don't know. Use the tool, get creative, do whatever you can do. Many of you ask, how can we help and how can we be a part? This is how you can help right now. And we look forward to sharing so many more exciting things to you in July after we reach this milestone. But thank you so much for being a part.
Absolutely. Have a great day.